Okay, we gotta talk about this one. While I was researching genies, otherwise known as jinns in the Arabic world, I was reminded of a character named Hia, who was a genie in an anime called Chilling in Another World with level 2 cheat powers. And when I tell you this woman thing or whatever it is has so many cons that it's not even funny, I mean it. Ha! Blasphemy! What could be wrong with her? She looks cute, she has cute little elf ears, and do I smell the scent of no shoes? Everything checks out, Night, no problems here. She looked pretty good to me. Yes, C-Voice, that's the problem. She is more of an it. What you talking about, White Cat? She's genderless. Oh, wait. How is she genderless? Is there something between the legs? Does she have the stick that squirts life down there? Is she a girl and not a shower? Is her manhood bigger than mine? Look, I don't know all that. They didn't show all that in the anime, so just shut up and let me cook for a second. Fine. Alright, viewers. Hia is a very old Jinn that has mastered all forms of dark and light magic in this anime. Her biggest con being genderless is because she is a being of pure magic and has no true fixed form or shape. But the form you see her in here is the form she takes for most of the time in the anime. But also, she can literally change her body parts at will. Hold up. Night, is she one of them ABC people? You mean the LGBTQ? If you're asking if she's gay, then kinda. She doesn't really fit into these categories because she was never really born a human, and she could change her shape and body at will. Wait, hold up then. If she's naturally genderless, then why she choose to look like an elf woman with no shoes on? Ha! Too easy, bruh. Boobs. Oh my gosh, she's one of us. Exactly. One of us. No, she is an awful person though, and this is a huge pass. You damn right. We already pushed the limits with furries and zombies and SCP creatures. But if you're telling me she could turn into a whole ass dude, then hell no. And I know some of you are wondering why we don't like the shapeshifting thing. Why would they wonder that? We're straight cats. Any average guy who's straight would not want a woman that he finds attractive to turn to a guy. Well, voice, on the Butt Witch video, there was at least 1 or 2 people in the comments that was just like, oh, you talking about trans people because you don't like shapeshifters, blah, blah, blah. We didn't say anything about trans people. I know, but people are assuming stuff. Anyways, if y'all want to know the main reasons that we don't like shapeshifters, let me explain it like this. Do y'all remember that one episode of The Boys with Homelander and Doppelganger? In the episode, Homelander is laying on a white woman's lap. Now, I don't remember the woman's name, but while Homelander was laying on her lap, the woman all of a sudden turned into a man. A fat, ugly man. Ew! Even Homelander was disgusted. I think I made my point. Now leave it in the comments if you would still smash. We won't judge. Trust me. We'll just tilt our heads back and laugh maniacally at you for hours.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
But there's more cons!
More?
You heard me, fatty. One of Hia's other cons are her wishes she grants. Now she can grant people 3 wishes. However, the compensation you have to pay for the wish would be an immense one. Now what do I mean by this? One time, she sacrificed half of a population of a kingdom for a wish. And this is why she was sealed in a sword, by the way. Also, another con is, Hia was never raised or taught by any beings. This made her very detached with an alien point of view from other mortal or physical creatures. So in other words, viewer, you could basically say she doesn't really have a good sense of morality. And this is shown even more when she becomes sexually curious. Let me cook because y'all gonna love this part. Due to her outsider alien mentality, Hia became a bisexual pervert who takes a great fascination with sex. And also, like I said before, this is a result of her having no morals or a sense of inappropriateness. And rather than lust or desire to break a taboo, she feels no shame in sexual acts. Now this means, viewer, that she will likely do immoral things like, you know, R-wording people. And she actually did this to a female magician that she ate. And yes, you heard that right, she ate someone. She had the woman in her little spiritual world, and when she started being sexually curious, she decided to restrain the woman in her world, and she attempted to use her for training. And we ain't talking about push-ups. The funny thing about this is that the female magician was not into this at all. And this is funny because the site that I read this on says that this magician is the Jinn's partner. And I'm letting you know right now, at least from what I've seen in the anime, this is not true. She did not want to participate in this training at all. In fact, the magician was so against this that she kicked Hia out of her own mind after Hia tried to show her her man thing, if you know what I mean. Anyway, long story short, this is a pass, straight up. Now I talked about this character first because she had me thinking, is Hia an actual great representation of a genie? Look at me in my face, viewer. No, she is not. First off, when I read, genies have genders. They can be male and they can be female. In fact, this whole genderless thing seems to be more of a modern representation of what a genie is. So in other words, trash! Talk about them real genies, Night. All right, here we go. Now, genies come from Arabic and Islamic folklore. The holy book Quran states that genies are made from a smokeless fire and they possess free will. They also possess powers like shapeshifting, invisibility, possession, And yes, there is possession like a demon, which is my first con for the natural jinns. And when possessed, the human shows symptoms like seizures, violence, and speaking unknown tongues. Now, a jinn can be moved from the human body via a ritual, and in these rituals, the Quran is usually cited to the afflicted person. And in case you're wondering, let me make this clear right now, jinns in Arabic folklore do not dwell in lamps. That's a completely Western idea, so they're nothing like the Robin Williams genie. No! Every genie can't be Robin Williams' voice, but Robin Williams could have been every genie. Well, he's dead, so tough luck. But he shouldn't be, Knight. He shouldn't be. No! Suffer in silence. Anyway, like I was saying, in the Arab world, jinns are not known for their wish granting, but they can be commanded to perform tasks by wizards or someone who wears a magical ring of Solomon. And they are sometimes blamed for unexplained minor health scares, accidents, and misfortunes. And yes, that last one is a con, they do cause misfortune. However, not all of them. Since jinns have free will, they can choose to be good or evil. They also share traits with fairies, angels, ghosts, and other supernatural creatures. In fact, one thing that they have in common with vampires is that they can be repelled by salt and iron. And also, like ghosts, they can hunt buildings, homes, and other locations like sewers and drain pipes. And just like fairies, they are said to lure children and weary travelers to their doom. So some of them may be a little bit like, Diddy! Yeah, that guy. And also, jinns are known to inhabit a wide range of places, dwelling alongside humans in a parallel world, an unseen parallel world. Plus, they can be in places like deserts, forests, caves, and even ruins. And also, last but not least, their greatest pro, humans and jinns can get married. Yes! I'm coming, Elizabeth! Now, this is proven in Arabic folklore and legends. And that's not all, viewer. There's more? Are we being invaded by fat people? Who's the fat guy? I don't know, I thought you knew him. Nah, I don't know. So anyway, jinns can also be born, grow up, have jobs, and raise families. And they can even live in communities and die just like us. Do you know what this means, viewer? It means me and Elizabeth about to go on a honeymoon. That and it is. Yes, it really is wise to smash a genie. You know, unless they're But now the question is, would it be wise to smash the rest of the genie waifus on my list? You mean my list? Hey, what happened to Elizabeth? This. Alright. Alright, my first pick was Desiree from the series Denny Phantom. He's a phantom. I love the show. Anyway, just in case you're confused, Desiree is a ghost genie. Now in folklore, ghosts and genies do have a lot in common, and in certain folklore, phenomena attributed to ghosts are sometimes described as works of jinns. So they have a lot of similarities. Plus this is fiction, and she's hot. And I bet she can twerk that thing like no tomorrow. Anyway, Desiree is one of the only ghost-like characters in this series with an actual backstory, as a human. And here's how it goes. Before she died, Desiree was a harem girl. And a harem girl is a woman who lives in a harem, a secluded part of a Muslim household reserved for women, including wives, concubines, and female relatives, and servants. More or less, some of these women may have had some degree of wealth and influence. And the purpose of this exclusivity was intended to protect the honor of the family by ensuring the paternity of any children. Now back to the story. Desiree had won the heart of the Sultan. And you can think of a sultan as like a ruler or a king, more or less. So anyway, she won his heart, and he promised to grant her all of her heart's desires, and even a kingdom of her very own. However, she was cast away from the palace by the sultan's jealous wife. Damn, tragic. Woman stayed hating on other women. Now after this, she eventually died of a broken heart in old age, and she became a spirit wandering around as a ghost genie, forever granting wishes, but at a personal cost, which is one of her cons, by the way. When she grants a wish, she makes it so the wish has a disastrous, unintended consequence for the wisher. And from what I know, she basically grants wishes like this because she's So anyway, another con is that she also has no legs in her ghost form, or more or less she's never seen in her ghost form with legs. Now that's a debatable con, but a con indeed. Now why is that? Because I like legs. A woman without sexy thick legs is like a pig without fat. Why do you exist? Anyways, her form of shapeshifting is a little bit different from Hia's. She has what's called spectral body manipulation, and this does mean she can change the size of her body parts and transform them into objects or weapons. Matter of fact, she's turned her body parts into things like a hammer, a rope, and she's even made her hands bigger. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, I wonder what else she can make bigger. Giggity. Anyway, she also has size alteration powers. The more wishes she grants, the bigger and more powerful she gets. And I'm telling you right now, I can fix a broken heart. Oh yeah, all I need is a vibrator and some energy drinks, and I can fix that broken heart like a mechanic. I'm gonna be working hard, but not hardly working.
Perfect.
Next, 1. Shantae from the Shantae series. She's a half genie that first appeared in a game called Shantae in 2002. In the game, she's a guardian of Scuttletown, and she works tirelessly to thwart the plans of a nefarious lady pirate named Risky Boots. And Risky Boots looks like this.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so she'll be in the pirate video. Anyway, one pro for Shantae is that she's a pro belly dancer. And there's more! She has magical belly dancing abilities that can cause teleportations and transformations. Now, she never turned to a man or try to grow some manhood like Hia, but she has turned into what's called a Tinkerbat. Ew! And one obvious pro is that she is an adult genie, but she doesn't have an age. But she is an adult, confirmed. And last but not least, her main pro is that she has a mother who's a genie and a father who's a warrior. Now, whether this warrior presented in the Shantae games is her father is debatable, because it doesn't explicitly say that it's her father. But then again, Shantae is half genie and her mother is a genie, for sure. Now what this means is, by this series standards, you can smash a genie. Now, with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you have any other genie waifus y'all want us to talk about in part 2? If you do, leave it in the comments, and you guys have a great day. Bye!